Hi everyone, I'm very happy today to be with Piet van Ziel, who is one of our really great supporters on anything related to sustainability. So I'm very eager to get to know him and to introduce him to the community. Welcome, Piet.
Thank you, Alex. Good to be here.
Piet, tell us a little bit about what you're doing at the moment.
Well, at the moment, I've got a company called Positive Impact Forever, and the goal for us is to measure people's impact on the environment, and particularly positive impact, but also to reduce their negative impact. So I'm trying to come up with ways that people can measure their own impact personally or for a household, which eventually will become an app, or alternatively can do the same thing for a business and for hotels or businesses or retreats. I can do the same thing, come up with ways for them to measure their impact. That's in a nutshell what I'm doing.
So calculating their energy consumption, their waste.
Yes, so I find that the word carbon footprint is really confusing for people. People don't know what this carbon footprint is. But basically measure your waste, your energy, and by energy, electricity, LPG, and fuel, your waste and your water. Those are the big things. And then later on also your community involvement and what you do for conservation, but that's on a later stage. But for now it's energy, water, and waste are the three big ones.
And what do you need from the community? What do you feel your main needs at the moment?
At the moment I need people that can help me to do measurements so I can find out what the challenges are. For instance, here in a wood where we're living, the electricity meters, some of them are metering just what's left over. Some of them are metering your consumption. So it's not easy for people to measure. Where I'm living, I didn't have a meter on my water, so I had to go and buy a meter to put it in. So, and the waste on the other side is also a hard one for people. How do you do that? So we're trying to come up with ways, and I don't want to do it all by myself. So I'm trying to get people that will help me out. Let's see how we can measure it, what we can come up, and then eventually build that into an app.
So if some of you guys are interested in actually knowing how you're doing in terms of carbon footprint, because that's the best way to put it on an umbrella, reach out to Piet and he can give you a lot of tips. I think it's very interesting, no matter how you're doing, to assess it and then be able to make a progress. And that's the idea. It's okay to use plastic bags as long as you know how many you're using and say, okay, well, next year I'll try to reduce by 10% number of plastic bags. And so it's really not about pointing fingers and being elitist about it, from what I understood, but really more about having an honest picture of what you do in order to improve it. The same way you've got those apps to measure your footsteps, and this way you feel good that you're going on the right direction. I think that's the idea.
I think the big thing that I've learned from that is, and I've been doing this now since March on myself to try and figure out how it's working. The big thing is awareness. Once I started measuring my waste, now everything I've put into my waste can, I say, ooh, I need to. That's going to make part of what I'm doing when I walk into a shop and say, do I want this thing that's got a lot of packaging, or I'm going to buy at Bali Buddha, I'm going to buy the stuff in brown paper bags that is bulk buying, so I don't have the plastic to waste. The brown paper I can shred, or I can put it in my garden, put it in the compost. So at home, for instance, for waste, I've got two bins, one for paper products and one for the other stuff. And I try to keep them separate. And at the end of May, I took my paper one and I put it through a paper shredder. And in the end, there was nothing left over. It all shredded, all goes into my garden. Into the compost, I just mix it. But it's awareness. Yes. It's the same for water. If you're aware that we're using this much water in soil, how do I reduce it? And the only way you can reduce it now is that it takes shorter showers, don't need to bath, see if there's any leaks. But the awareness will help you to find out where it is. And if we can build a community around this of different people for their households, you're on your own, I'm living on my own, somebody else has got 4 people in their household. So we work it per person in your household, and then we compare it anonymously if people want it, anonymously say, this is where you stand within the community of people. And then people say, oh, hang on, I'm the biggest consumption of electricity. Why? Then you become aware.
You have a benchmark to compare yourself.
Yes, a benchmark against other people.
Yeah, I think it's really the key. And from what I understand, you have a lot of experience. So I'm sure you're happy to educate and help the people that are coming and being part. So you don't need to know how to do it up front. As long as you just want to do it, Pete will take you by the hand and will give you a lot of tips on how to actually make it happen. Is that right?
And I'm working at the moment on a sustainability toolkit that people can take, and they can say, oh, these are all the things that I can do. And eventually on the app, there will be tips. So let's say you say, I want to reduce my electricity consumption. So, well, you can do the following things, or you can put up solar panels, and there's a couple of suppliers that we know that are doing the same thing. We can also do that for businesses. It doesn't need to be household. So a small business, small retreat can all put into it. For the bigger businesses, it becomes a bit more data driven. But I believe you can't manage something you don't measure.
Exactly. What you don't know, you cannot control. Tell us about your relation with Bali, because we all have a strong attachment to the island. I'm very curious to know what's your story.
Yeah, so I came to Bali just over 6 years ago, working for the Alila hotel group, and I was working in engineering basically, and I soon realized that the environmental part is more important for me than just the engineering. Engineering forms part of sustainability for me personally. But so I got more involved in the sustainability part. And because Bali is such a special place, there's so much opportunity for people to come and make a contribution, or to learn and go back to their home countries and make a contribution there. And it's a nice community. It's a nice group of people around here, and it's also a lot of people coming in and out. It's never boring.
Yeah, it is indeed. What do you feel you are happy to? What's your superpower that you feel you're happy to bring to the other members? And in a sense, you have the opportunity to give them a message. To feel free to reach out to you, or what?
I think my call it my superpower is that I'm very good at connecting things. So I can look at a lot of different things going on, and I connect the dots on a global or a strategic point of view. So I'm very good at strategic thinking, coming up with ideas and with initiatives that we can use to do that. And that, I think, where sustainability is so good, because it's all connected. There's nothing standing on its own. The one thing we do here will connect to that thing, will affect that thing. And I'm good at that. So people want me to just come and tell them how's everything connected, and that's what I'm doing really well.
Great. And I reach out to Piet also. Now we have, for instance, a resort that wants to open. It's great to have someone that has the knowledge of sustainability, a knowledge of Bali, who has already also a network. So I'd say also for anything related to opening a new resort, I'm sure you've got you've got a bit of contact there. So you can, either as an advisor or as a consultant. Piet is doing consulting on all these things. So that's as a friendly initial support, or as a more long-term consultant, I'm sure we can.
Good, and sustainability, especially if somebody wants to start a new place.
Yes.
Sustainability is very inexpensive if you start with that. I'm going to do a sustainable project. To retrofit it later on becomes more expensive. So it's always easier to get in on the ground floor and then do it well.
Great. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the room? All right, guys.
Much.
Thank you very much, guys, and get in touch with Piet via Slack. We have it there. All right. See you, everyone.
Bye.